What's up, guys? Welcome to the live. Welcome to the people who are going to be watching this later. It's Richie. I've had a pretty long day today. I have a bunch of things we're going to talk about during this live. I want to talk to you guys about online platforms and why I think that you guys should consider starting an online platform. I'm also going to talk about perseverance a little bit and pushing through hard times, pushing through those moments where you feel like you have nothing left in you. And what else are we going to talk about? There's a couple other things too. I might touch on some different ways you guys can kind of make money on the side. It's not going to make you rich in a day or a week or even a month, but, I want to tell you guys some ways that you can get started. So, in the future, the odds will be in your favor. So we'll kind of wait for some people to show up here in the chat, and then we'll get started and start talking about the meat and potatoes, about the content I wanted to discuss today. Another thing I'm going to talk about a little bit, and maybe you guys can put this in the comment section for those of you waiting later, and for the people who will be watching this live, you can put this in the chat, but I've been having some problems with my recent YouTube videos. I feel like they're pretty solid videos. I've done search optimization on them, custom thumbnails on the recent one. The relevant topics as far as what's going on in the news, and my most recent video is not performing well at all, as well as my past 3 videos I've done. So I don't really know exactly what's going on there, but it's one of those type things where I talked about this earlier, where you make a video and you don't really put too much effort into it, and for whatever reason it performs really well, and then you spend hours doing search optimization and trying to find a video that'll perform well, and then it ends up not really getting a lot of views. So I'm a little confused as to why my recent videos aren't getting any views. Jay said, "Hey, how you doing? What's up? Welcome to the channel." But yeah, I'm a little confused as to why my recent videos aren't getting a lot of views. They're about relevant content. I've done search optimization. I've found topics that are relevant to talk about in my niche, and it seems as if I'm almost shadow banned on YouTube, because I made similar videos in December, and they were getting like a few thousand views per video, and they weren't any better than the videos that I put out recently. So I don't really understand exactly what's going on, but we're just gonna keep trying. If you guys have any suggestions, you can put it in the chat. Welcome to everybody watching who's new to the channel. I make travel content. I also try to give you guys some motivation and inspiration to become successful, and go for your dreams in your life. So hey, Jace, thanks for subbing, and yeah, I'm doing pretty good. It's been kind of a long day, but I'm doing well. I'm happy to be doing YouTube live right now, and we're just gonna take some time and have a conversation about a couple things. So Gigi, I'm not exactly sure how to say your username, but hi, how you doing? Welcome to the channel. So yeah, for you guys just joining, today we're going to talk about why you guys should start a YouTube channel or a personal brand. I wanted to talk about that a little bit because I think that for the future, if you start now and you're consistent for, let's say, a couple years, I think that you can actually start your business on what you talk about. So, this is really cool, right? Because you can just pick whatever you're passionate about, and you can do it as a hobby, right? Like if you make things that you enjoy making, they should come natural, right? And if you're consistent with this over a long period of time, I think that people will want to pay you for the information that you have. Thanks, Jace. I appreciate that. So yeah, guys. So as far as deciding what you want to make content about, sometimes it's hard at first. It feels like there's a lot of pressure. Like sometimes I still don't know what to make videos about, but as long as you just post, even though like you don't really know what you're going to talk about. Like I thought of what I'm going to talk about for this video like literally like 20 minutes ago. The important part is just to post and to interact with your viewers and subscribers. And I think as time goes on, you're gonna find like what you enjoy and what your audience enjoys. And if you're consistent with it over a long period of time, you're gonna grow a following. Okay, so my advice is to post more and more. Yeah, that's really good advice. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to post a lot. I'm trying to post every single day because you have to stay consistent, right? And like to be honest with you guys, I kind of wanted to go to bed like today because I've just had like a long day. But I'm like, I gotta bust out a YouTube video. I gotta meet some new subscribers, talk to my existing subscribers, and I'm really glad that I'm here talking to you guys. For those of you who are new to the channel, I'm trying to do live streams every single night around this time. I have a travel channel, so we're gonna talk about like living overseas, and we're also gonna talk about like business and how to start your own business. So yeah. Thank you, Kenny. Hey, how you doing? From Dallas? Nice. I have a friend in Dallas, so that's cool. No, it's 12:07 where I am. So, yeah, it's pretty late at night. But that's okay. I'm a bit of a late owl. So, so yeah. But yeah, anyways, guys, so back to starting your platform. When I first started, like, this YouTube channel was like, I started like a year ago, and I was living in Thailand, and oh, Chicago, hey, cool. I'm born in the Chicagoland area, so I'm glad we have some Chicagoans here. Let's see what else we got here. I'm gonna go. I got school tomorrow, but keep up the hard work. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for subscribing. Welcome. From Florida? Cool. I've lived in Florida too. I lived in Daytona Beach. So we have some people that have lived in similar places to me. But yeah, guys. But yeah. So I started this channel around 1 year ago, and I was living in Thailand, and I really just started it because I wanted to make videos to show people back in my home country, America, how different it is in Thailand and how like cool of a country it is over there. As I started making videos more and more, I realized that I kind of wanted to do other things too. My passion is mentoring people. I like teaching people. I was a teacher overseas, and so really what this channel is, like I want to film things and, inspire you guys to go out there and do what you're actually passionate about. So that's why I'm so adamant about you guys, starting a YouTube channel or maybe like a TikTok. Or if you want to teach people, you can start like an online English platform or something like this. So. All right, let's see. Kenny says, I love those videos when you showed the life from another country. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll be in another country here probably in like March. So we'll be back on the road pretty soon. For for now, we're just going to be posting videos in America. Hold on, guys. I'll be back in a second. My nose got a little itchy, but I'll be back. But yeah, we should be back on the road here soon. I love traveling. It's hard for me to not travel for a long period of time. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about with that. Something else I wanted to talk about a little bit is today when I woke up, where are you going next? That's a good question. Probably we're going to go back to Asia. It's kind of in between Thailand and Cambodia now. So I'll get back to you. We'll see. So I'm kind of deciding that. So I guess we can talk about that a little bit. So I'm probably going to move overseas soon here and teach English. I really like Thailand. But the problem with Thailand is it's a little harder to be a teacher there than it is to be a teacher in Cambodia. And, also it's a bit harder to live there with visas and stuff like that. So I'm kind of looking into Cambodia a little bit. I've been to Cambodia like 4 or 5 times, and I really like it there as well. It's a little bit different than Thailand. There's not like as many places or things to do, but it's a really nice country. Let's see here. I heard it's cheap to live there and really beautiful. Are you talking about Thailand or Cambodia? They're both beautiful, and they're both pretty cheap. Cambodia is a lot cheaper than Thailand now. Yeah, Thailand. Yeah, Thailand. It depends where you live in Thailand. If you live in Bangkok, which is the capital, the biggest city, it can be kind of expensive now. But if you live in Chiang Mai, which is a smaller city, up in the mountains, it's really cheap. So you can live there. It's peaceful. They got temples. They have mountains. Chiang Mai has some of like the best food in Thailand, and it's so cheap. You can pretty much eat a meal there like khao mein gai, like chicken and rice for like 30 baht, so like $1 you can eat a meal. And then the south of Thailand is very beautiful too. You have like Phuket and Krabi, and you got Koh Samui down there and Koh Tao, so you have islands, and you have like that turquoise water. And it's so beautiful, But the south of Thailand is becoming quite expensive as well. So I would say if you want to go to Thailand and live somewhere cheap, I would recommend Chiang Mai. You could live there for under $1,000 a month, and I think have like a pretty happy life. The only problem with Chiang Mai is it has some of the worst pollution in the world because in some of the countries in the surrounding areas, they burn their crops, and then the wind blows it into Thailand basically. And Chiang Mai, if you don't like pollution and stuff like that, it's quite bad. Let's see. Hey, Richard, I started my website yesterday. Thanks for your encouragement, and I'm making some content today. We talked about teaching yesterday. Hey, I'm really happy. Thank you so much. I'm really happy that I inspired you to start your website, and that's really cool. If you need any help or anything, just let me know. Be consistent every single day. You already took the hardest step. The hardest step is to actually start. So that, just remember, like, that was the hardest part. So just keep pushing every single day, and eventually you'll make it. So you changed the world for the better, man. Keep being you. Hey, man, I really appreciate that. That means a lot to me. I'm not perfect. I've done a lot of stupid things too. But if I can, help a couple people out and give them some encouragement, that's kind of the whole point of me, making these videos. So, yeah, that's really good to hear. That's good news. So that's good. The chat's been pretty good today. We have someone who did some self-improvement. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. We've earned some new subscribers, so hopefully we can, provide as much value as we can. We discussed Thailand and Cambodia a little bit. Like I said, guys, very soon here, I'll be back on the road traveling. And I'll take you guys along for the ride. I really want to show you guys some new places. I want to go off the beaten track. So if we go to Cambodia, I'm probably going to live in Phnom Penh, which is the capital city. And it's surprising because a lot of people don't know what Phnom Penh is. And it's a major city in the heart of Southeast Asia. And it's growing at an extremely fast rate because Chinese developers are building very, very fast in Phnom Penh. And there's a lot of opportunity there for, I would say, younger people. Cambodia is very younger oriented, right? Like if you're over 50 years old, they won't even give you a lot of visas. They won't give you marriage visas. They won't give you work permits. Cambodia also had the Khmer Rouge, right? So it's missing an entire group of people because of genocide, right? So there's not really old people in Cambodia. It's missing an entire generation. So it has a really rough history, but with anything in life, and what I try to tell people a lot is it's better to go to places that struggled and you can be the shining light, right? Because if you go somewhere, and this is why I tell people sometimes to think twice about, only thinking about Thailand. With Thailand, it's kind of like been there, done that. It has all the media. It has all the spotlights. Everybody knows about Thailand, and it's great. And if you still want to go there, I'm all for it. I support it 100%. But what I also try to encourage people is to not forget about those places where no one talks about, right? Because, just think about it. Like, if I make a video in Phnom Penh and I show you some of the luxury shopping malls that are absolutely huge, that nobody's even heard about, that, I've been there before, these huge shopping malls that have water parks inside of them, multiple stories, food courts, movie theaters, luxury shopping, and I show that and no one's ever seen that before, like, then I'm kind of, like in some ways you're kind of like the main character, right? Because in Thailand, like, if you went and filled Icon Siam or Siam Paragon or Imperium or Terminal 21, and you show like these shopping malls, everyone's kind of already seen that because, Bangkok is, it's saturated. So, yeah, guys. But anyways, do stupid things, enjoy life, and help others. Let's go. Yeah, for sure. You have to have fun in life. You can't live in a cage. Live in a realm of fear. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna mess things up. It's okay. You're gonna survive. Ultimately, if you don't make any mistakes and you never do anything wrong, then, well, you probably didn't really, go 100%, right? I encourage I encourage failure. I encourage, making mistakes. I think it's okay. I think it's okay to do that, especially if you're younger, if you don't have kids, if you don't have a family, then I think that you should really, not worry at all about making a lot of mistakes. And if you're older and you have kids, still don't be afraid to be bold. Your children will be proud of you for doing what you're passionate about. I think that, kids want to see their parents, they just want to see their parents happy, Like, I remember being a kid and all I wanted was to see my parents happy, So no matter what stage you are in life, I'm not sure exactly how old all my viewers are. When I look at the demographics, I have a lot of people in the 25 to 34-year-old range, which is cool. That's definitely a good age, but there's no bad age, It's just a number. Even if you're old, I know a lot of old people who could be my grandparents who are starting their life over again, who, have, moved overseas to a foreign country and started teaching English in Vietnam, or Thailand. And I think that's really admirable, like to take a risk even if you're not young. If you want to, what's that saying? Get busy living or get busy dying, right? I really like that quote. All right, Gigi said, what motivated you to take the step to travel the world? It's a really good question. So, to be honest with you, nothing really, because I was kind of just brought into this. I grew up with a dad who was basically an expat. I never really saw my dad for more than a month ever. He traveled the world for business. He's been all over the world, and so I kind of grew up in that. Environment, and when we were in high school, there was talks of moving overseas, and at one point we were going to move to India, and that never happened. And then I was told, get ready, we're going to move to Shanghai, China, and that almost happened, but it fell through. And then I was told, hey, we're going to be moving to Thailand, and that actually happened. My family actually moved overseas to Thailand, and that was a very eye-opening experience, because I tell this story a lot, and people in Thailand laugh at me when I say this, and I know I don't want this to be disrespectful. I just say it's me being an American, but I actually didn't know there was a difference between Taiwan and Thailand at the time. That's how much I just was unaware of geography. So I went there for the first time with new eyes back in the 2010s, and when I arrived at Thailand, I always explained to people it was like landing on a different planet. It was like landing on Saturn or Mars or something, and I remember opening my eyes and I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe that I was standing somewhere that was literally on the completely opposite side of the planet from where I was born. Like, literally, if I dug a hole through the earth, it'd get me closer to, where I was born. And I was so infatuated by it, just walking around, like, little things, like looking at how they wire, looking at how the buildings are built, how people talk in a different language. And I was so infatuated with it. And so, eventually I moved back to the States, and I got into law enforcement, and I really thought that was going to be my career, but kind of at that time something hit me, and I felt as if I was missing something in my life. And I think what it was I never really forgot about my experiences living abroad. It was such a level of adrenaline and excitement. It was almost like it was instantly addicting. It was instantly addicting. And I warn people about going to Thailand is when you come back to America, it's like nothing feels, it's hard to get dopamine basically, because Thailand just moves at such a, it's slower, but it's faster in like in a weird way. And there's just so much to do. And it's just so bright, you know, there's so much brightness. There's so much going on, you know, it's 24/7 all the time. You can get whatever you want, whenever you want. You can go wherever you want, wherever you want. And when I came back to America, it was just, you know, it was like reverse culture shock. So, you know, the pandemic happened and, you know, everything was locked down. And then afterwards, I had the opportunity to go back to Asia with my brother and my dad. And when I went back, I just knew, you know, this is just going to be a part of my life. You know, I'm going to find a way to travel to as many as these countries as I can. And ultimately, you know, that kind of is, you know, how I got into traveling abroad. And, you know, I haven't been everywhere. There's a lot of people. I have a friend who's traveled to a lot more places than me. And, you know, that's the goal. I want to explore Europe a lot too. I haven't really explored, I haven't explored Europe a lot. So that would be really cool. I do have family in Thailand, yeah. Yep, I have family in Thailand. You know, I'm in Thailand. I've been there often, you know, ever since the pandemic stopped. I've been there for at least, you know, probably 50 to, you know, 60% of the time, maybe 70. And then I've been in the States and some other countries as well. So yeah, guys, you know, ideally, you know, I want to go to as many places as possible. I don't think traveling, you know, will ever get old to me. I think that, you know, watching my dad, his lifestyle, you know, I think it impacted me a lot. And you know, I look up to my dad in many ways. Just his, you know, most people think travel is, you know, fun. You know, it's just this thing you go do. But, you know, there's a lot logistically involved in it. And, you know, just this week, you know, my dad flew to Japan, and then he flew to Thailand, landed in Thailand, or landed from Thailand. It was a flight from Chicago, landed in Thailand. He gave me a call. He was at Suvarnabhumi. He left the airport, went to Sukhumvit Road for a meeting, and then within 5 hours, he was back to the airport on a flight to Shanghai, flew to Shanghai, passed out, then took the high-speed train into the neighboring city and had meetings the next morning, and then stayed there for 3 days, and then, you know, today flew back to Bangkok, and he has meetings in Rayong and Pattaya and Bangkok this week, and then he flies back to Chicago the next week and starts work on Monday. So, you know, seeing my dad kind of, you know, do this and be able to, you know, operate at such a high level all the time, no matter the jet lag, no matter the pressure, it really, it inspired me of what were possible. And, you know, my dad's, you know, a type guy, he's never done drugs, you know, he's never relied on stimulants like you see a lot of these other, you know, business leaders. It's just all pure heart, you know. And I really look up to that. And, you know, I want to get involved in international business. I want to, you know, work with people throughout the world, because we live in a globalized economy, right? So, you know, as of today, we have an opportunity that in the history of the world, we've never had the opportunity to have this accessible level of travel globally. So if your family is in Thailand and you want to live in Thailand, why are you not in Thailand? Well, I have Thai family in Thailand. I certainly could stay in Thailand, but as of right now, I don't have a visa. So, that's, something, things don't happen overnight. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of other logistical things, such as being able to access these type visas, such as work permits. Right now, I'm going to university, finishing up my degree, which will make a work permit in Thailand feasible. So, we're in the process of, doing that. And, hopefully soon we can have one of these higher quality visas so, I can stay in Thailand more long term. But, just because you have family in Thailand doesn't automatically mean, you can just stay there for as long as you want. I wish it worked that way, but, that's not really how it works. But, yeah, guys, so that's kind of the plan right now. Trying to think what else is I wanted to discuss today. But yeah, guys, just back to, all right, let's see here. Why not study in Thailand? It's cheap compared to the States. Yeah, that's true. I didn't choose that option. I'm going to university in the United States. I want a regionally accredited university, somewhere with a degree that, I can, work in China and work in Thailand. And for me, going to university in my own country was the most feasible option. So I'll definitely be back in Thailand, though. I promise you that. So yeah. Yes, I am a teacher. Yes, I do. I have students from all over the world. I have, I haven't been able to spend a lot of time teaching now because, I'm really multitasking right now on a lot of things, which is why I'm making these videos so late at night. I'm finishing up a degree right now. I'm working as well, and I'm trying to push out as much content as YouTube that I possibly can. So, we're going all in here. I'm trying to follow my dream, follow my dream of being able to help and mentor people, being able to, be an inspiration for those who deserve more in their life. So, yes, so I do have an online teaching platform. I talked about this a little bit in yesterday's live stream. If you guys would like, you can go back and watch that on how you can get started in that, if that's something you guys are interested in pursuing. Also I'll probably make a YouTube video about teaching online soon as well. It's not as easy as it seems because anything you do online is very competitive, right? Because everybody wants to work online, right? Like everybody would prefer to just work a job on their laptop and travel the world, but it's not as easy as just, applying for a couple jobs and getting the job the next day. There's much more that goes into it. And I talk about it a little bit on my live stream I did yesterday. It has like the thumbnail of me like going like this. So if you guys want to check it out, I discuss it a little bit. I don't necessarily know if the platform that I started on is the best right now because I've just been busy doing other things. But at the time I started, it was a really good platform. The cool thing about that platform is that they give you a mentor And, you know, I had some really good mentors who were making a lot of money teaching online. And, you know, it really opened my eyes up to what's possible if you work hard, you know? And I mean, these teachers were working really hard. Like, you know, that's the thing you had to consider too, you know, like there's something, you guys know what work-life balance is, right? And, you know, I've witnessed a lot of people in my life who are really successful, but they have absolutely no work-life balance. They only work. And so unfortunately, in the competitive society that we live in today, you kind of have to work hard, you know? You kind of have to work hard. And that's why I'm making these live streams every single day at midnight. You know, I'd rather be sitting in my bed over there, like watching a YouTube video, like getting ready to knock out. But in today's day and age, with how competitive the market is, you really have to go all in. You have to, and that's why I suggest to just find something you like doing. Because if you had to do something that's where you have to work really hard, and I see I'm losing people on the video. Whenever I talk about this, I always lose people, guys. So for the few of you guys that hear me out when I say this, I promise you guys, you're going to be successful, you know? Because the reality is like, you know, moving to Thailand or moving to France or moving to America or wherever, I always say this, but it is probably one of the more difficult things to do. I really, you know, to re-immigrate into, you know, a new society, and you know, it's equally as difficult for someone who is from a third world country to move into a first world country than it is for someone in a first world country to move into a third world country or a second world country like Thailand, because there's not a lot of opportunity when you arrive to, you know, Southeast Asia. So you have to figure it out, right? And I used the analogy yesterday about the war fighting strategy the Chinese army used centuries ago in 400 BC. China's generals figured out something called fighting to the river on your back. And basically what they would do is they would ambush their own military. The generals would find a river and they would push their soldiers to the river so when the enemy comes, they couldn't run away. And what happened was when they did this, it created savages. It created people to actually find this newer level of enlightenment to prevail and to win. And they became absolute ruthless savages, and they destroyed their enemy because they were put into a situation where they didn't have another option. If they went into the freezing river, they would die. So they had to do the hard work, and they had to face their problems right in front of them. So I know I'm kind of going on a rambling tangent here, but for the few people that, you know, can stomach it when they hear, you know, you had to work really hard to, you know, to follow your dreams, I think you guys are going to be successful. All right, let's see what we got in the chat. Hey, what's up, Dr. B? Thanks for coming back to the chat. Living in Thailand is like an enlightenment. So much freedom. Can't be happy anywhere anymore. Moving back to home country gives terrible depression. Thailand changed my life goals completely. Yeah, Dr. B, I don't know how long you've been watching the stream, but I was literally just talking about that around 10 minutes ago. Thailand ruined my perception of America. And now America is no longer fun to me, no matter what I do. I was in Los Angeles. I was in San Francisco. I was in Chicago. I was in Atlanta. I was in Miami within the past year. And none of those places did anything to me. The amount of stimulation and dopamine involved with Thailand is addictive like any other drug you can do. And I really think it's important to talk about that because a lot of people, they don't realize that. And you know, I don't know how much I can talk about this, guys, but I'm going to. So don't report me, please. But I grew up in Pattaya, and if you guys don't know what Pattaya is, think of Las Vegas on a bunch of drugs, on a bunch of steroids. That's what Pattaya is. I lived there when I was a kid, and I grew up watching these guys, watching these middle-aged guys, watching these older guys who would come to Thailand, and they would basically come and party like there's no tomorrow. And we'd call them 1 week millionaires because they were millionaires for 1 week. And many of these guys would lose all their money. And they had nothing to lose at that point. They didn't want to go back home to the UK or America. So there's something in Pattaya called the Pattaya Leap. And there's a lot of skyscrapers in Pattaya. So I'm not going to tell you guys what the Pattaya Leap means, but I think you guys can figure that out. And this is what I mean by, this is why I think it's important to talk about this a little bit, because I've seen grown men crying in the Bangkok Suvarnabhumi Airport terminal and in the departing terminal. You know, I've seen grown men crying because they had to go back to the UK or Australia or America. So it's a blessing and a curse. And many times I ask myself, you know, what if I never went to Thailand? What if I never went there? You know, how would I think about my own country if I never went? So, you know, it's catch-22, you know? It's a blessing in disguise, but it's heads and tails, right? There's pros and cons. I don't know how many more analogies I can ramble off there. I'm not from the South, so I'm not good with my idioms, right? But yeah, guys. I still recommend it. I still recommend going for it, you know? Because, but I think you do have to have a level of strength, right? Because, you know, my dad would always tell me that, you know, he would say it's kind of like a playground, right? And it's not reality. For many people, it's not reality, right? If you're the type of person that goes to Thailand and you're going to Khao San, Nana Plaza, Soi Cowboy, Soi 6, Walking Street, Soi Bukhao, I'll go on and on and on, guys. Well, that's not really Thailand, okay? I just want people to know that. You go to Asok, you go to Nana, you go to Pattaya, you go to Bang Na Road in Phuket. This isn't Thailand, guys. This isn't reality. So, you know, the type of people that go to these, you know, type places and, you know, think that's reality, it's not. It's not. It's not reality. You're living in Candyland, you know. I don't know how many of my viewers know exactly what I'm talking about. Maybe Dr. B knows. Maybe a couple other people in the chat that have been to Thailand kind of know what I'm talking about. But there's craziness there, guys. There is craziness in Thailand. And you can get lost in the sauce. You can get so lost, you don't even know where you are. You don't even know what you did yesterday. I'll be back in 1 second, guys. So yeah, guys, that's my what's it called? Like a disclaimer. That's my disclaimer. You know, if you go to Thailand for the first time and you're a young guy, you're in your 20s or in your 30s, or even if you're older, you know, you go there And, you get all this attention, and, it's like seeing light for the first time. So just be aware of that, just be aware of that for, the men that go to Thailand. Just be aware as to what's going on. So yeah, guys, that's enough. That's enough about that. Probably gonna end the live stream here pretty soon. We covered a couple things. We covered why it's important to start your online platform, and we did have somebody in the chat who actually took the first step yesterday, and now he has his own website. So I'm really happy I inspired someone to do that. That's really, really cool. What else did we cover? We covered where I'm going to be moving to soon. What else did we cover? And we covered the wildness that involves Thailand and why I went to Thailand in the first place. So I'll make this video public. If you guys are bored, you guys don't have anything to do, and you guys are late owls, you guys can watch back if you would like. Please subscribe to my channel if you guys are interested in living nomadically, traveling, and maybe I'll give you guys some insight of starting your own platform as well. So also, guys, I'm probably gonna start doing some fitness content too. Fitness is, I don't talk about this a lot, but fitness is probably the one thing I've been extremely consistent with for a long period of time. I'm the type of person where I train for performance. I train for endurance. I train for strength. I think that that's an important thing too for success. So I might post some YouTube shorts. Maybe we'll do some live streams at the gym of some simple workouts. If you guys want to follow along, you can do that. So let's see. Dr. B said, but many people who are in shitty 9-to-5s, mundane life, living like a dead body, Thailand gives them hope and a goal. Yep, I agree with you guys. I agree with you, Dr. B. That's why I think that. Even with what I said, just take that as a disclaimer. Still go to Thailand, but be aware that you have to have a plan. And, I'm telling you that through my own experience, right? So you have to have a constructive plan. With that being said, if you take some of the fallacies in mind, and you live a life based in reality, I think Thailand can be an incredible choice. But if you're the type of person, I'll tell you this right now, if you're the type of person that struggles with impulse or addiction, don't go to Thailand. I think that it would be wise to be very cautious in your decision to go to Thailand, because I can't count on both of my hands how many friends I know who have died in Thailand in high school or in their 20s through substance abuse, through recklessness, negligence. Like I said, guys, I'm not joking around about Las Vegas on steroids. Thailand is like taking the wrapper off of the bag. It's the raw reality of life. You can have whatever you want. So, this is, of course, a lot of freedom. But just bear in mind, you have to be self-cautious and self-aware. What's up, future captain? I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good right now. How are you doing, man? I'll be back, guys. I got to go get another water. I'm a bit thirsty. Doing good? Good to hear, man. Good to hear. Yeah, guys, so for those of you just joining, today we talked about why you should start your own platform. We talked about why I moved to Thailand. We talked to some of the risks associated with Thailand. And I'm going to make this video public, so, if you guys are bored, you don't have anything going on, you guys can watch it later. The hedonistic life that Thailand offers don't attract me, but still it gives way more freedom and chill life. Yeah, it does. Yeah, see, it's interesting to me how interested people are with Thailand. I really like that. I think that's cool. And I guess most of my content is relevant to Thailand. Part of me wants to go to Cambodia because I think Cambodia is, a better option for most people as far as freedom and chill life goes. I think Thailand offers that, given you have a lot of capital, right? And even with that said, and once again, I love Thailand, guys. I love Thailand so much. There's so many good things, but there's a lot of other things, like, for instance, like noise pollution is pretty unbelievable in Thailand. I'm serious. I'm not sure how many people in the chat. I think Dr. B's been to Thailand, but it is incredibly loud in Thailand, in most major cities. I mean, Chiang Mai can be quiet. If you're living in Koh Chang, right, or Koh Koot, or some of those islands, it can be kind of quiet. But I am telling you guys, like, if you have problems sleeping, it's going to be a bear living in Bangkok. It is nonstop. Like, it is unbelievable. Like, the traffic never stops. And, all the younger Thai guys, have modified exhausts on their motorbikes. And it's just nonstop, like, noise pollution. And then, there's actual pollution, which, is, another thing. And and then it's costly. But, with that being said, I still think there is freedom. And maybe I can tell you guys some places to live where I think you could have more freedom in Thailand. Some of my places that I liked might not be the best anymore because of the conflict going on with Cambodia. But I think the province of Trat was really cool. It still might be safe. I think things are getting a little bit better. But I think if you want to go somewhere really peaceful, I would check out the Trat Islands. Koh Koot, Koh Mak, and Koh Chang. So Koh in Thai is island, right? Those are some gorgeous islands that are incredibly beautiful, and it's a place where local Thai people go. So the Thais try to get away from the foreigners as much as they can because they're kind of repulsed by the foreigners. The Thai people don't like the foreigners in Thailand. It's become a problem with Thailand. It's really, and if you guys want to check out my recent video, I did a video on if Thailand still offers the 60-day visa exemption. If you guys are interested in that, you can watch it. I'll just tell you guys right now, they do for now, but it could change. So check that out if you would like. It's only like 3 minutes. So let's see what else we got. That what attracts me. Cambodia can be a great option too. Have you been to Cambodia? Yes, I've been to Cambodia quite a few times. I think maybe like 4 or 5 times. I've been to Siem Reap, and I've also been to Phnom Penh. And I've just been talking about, why Cambodia is the better option for people who have less money. I think that Cambodia is a place where you can still live very cheaply, and there's opportunity for work within the culture of Cambodia, So, Cambodia is really overlooked. I think they have something like something like 7 million people coming in a year to Cambodia, where Thailand has around 70 million. So you have like 10 times the amount of tourists in Thailand. So, you know, it's just and the thing about Cambodia is I always say this, like, it's like you're on the moon or something in Cambodia. It just has this feeling where you're off the planet. I mean, Thailand's like that a little bit too, but Cambodia is, I've kind of heard it described as like the Wild West, you know? So if you really want to get away from everything and have a life where you're just away from society, I would say Cambodia. You can also lose your mind. You can also, I know some people who have completely lost their mind in Cambodia because you're really out there. But so what are the benefits of living in Cambodia? Describe. All right, so we can go over them. The cost. The cost of living in Cambodia is going to be drastically cheaper than Thailand. Yes, I'll say that again. The cost of living in Cambodia is drastically cheaper than Thailand. And I'll tell you guys why. You show up to the airport, you pay $30 US for a 30-day visa, and then you can go to the immigration office and extend that visa for a year for $300. No questions asked. None of these visa runs and stuff like this. So the visa situation in Cambodia is so much better than Thailand, especially for those who have low capital. So that's number one. Number two is business opportunity. Out of Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand, in my opinion, if you want to go somewhere and start a business on the ground, I would go with Cambodia. I have a consultant that has told me that. I'm not going to get into all the logistical reasons, but you can start your own business there quite easily, along with opportunities in the workforce in Cambodia, such as teaching English. So there's plenty jobs, and not to mention, you don't need a college degree to teach in Cambodia. You just need a TEFL certificate. So, so those are some reasons right there. There's far less pollution in Cambodia. Once again, it's far less overpopulated. It's a growing country, so you know you're not joining the herd. You're starting the new cavalry, right? And it's not for everybody, you know. It's sanitation's not there. Infrastructure is really behind. You know, it's like 40 years behind Thailand. So, you know, it's not as accessible as Thailand at all, you know. As far as luxury, Thailand has far more luxury. So if you have the money, you know, Thailand's probably in your best interest. There's no BTS or MRT train rail in Cambodia. Really, you're going to be relying on tuk-tuks, which I love. You know, you can get a tuk-tuk for $1 and go around anywhere in Phnom Penh. So that's pretty cool. But there is far less transportation offers in Cambodia. Let's see, what else? There's not as much to do. There's not much to do in Cambodia. You know, a lot of people get bored. If you're someone that wants to be around other Westerners, it's not good either. You're going to see far less, you know, Western people in Cambodia. So yeah, really, I mean, it depends what you want, right? Like, if you want that lifestyle where you're still living in like a true like Asian city and still have nice things for a low cost, and you don't have a lot of money, easily go to Cambodia. But if you're someone that wants more of the Western commodities, and you want luxury, you want infrastructure, then go with Thailand. You know, Thailand's easily the better choice. So, I mean, I'm not going to say one's better than the other. It's just, what they attract, right? Thailand's government wants really their ideal person is a rich Westerner who has a lot of money, who wants to invest and spend a lot of money in Thailand and retire there. That's what Thailand wants. Cambodia wants a younger person who will take more risks, who will invest money, but also invest effort into their economy. So that's how the two kind of differ as far as the bureaucracy of what they want in their immigration. So guys, looks like the chat's pretty quiet. It's 1 in the morning, so we're probably gonna wrap this video up soon, guys. Watching the live stream, you're still listening? Cool. Yeah, I hope you guys like it. You guys in the chat, you guys are the ones who tell me what to talk about. These videos are so much easier to make when you guys help me. So don't care if it's weird. You're not going to offend me. Ask me whatever you want, and I'll answer it, you know. So, you know, you guys give me a lot of the content. I just will answer your questions and whatever. So, all right, let's see what's going on. Joker said, what about dating in Thailand? It's pretty easy to find committed girlfriend and live together peacefully, and it's socially acceptable by what the scenario regarding this in Cambodia. Hold on, I gotta read that again. Sorry guys, I'm not the best reader, I'm gonna be honest with you. What about dating? In Thailand, it's pretty easy to find committed girlfriend and live together peacefully, and it's socially acceptable, but what the scenario regarding this? I think what you're asking is dating as socially acceptable in Cambodia as it is in Thailand? That's a really good question. So in Khmer culture, Khmer is Cambodian people, right? It's a strange country because, like I said earlier, they were in a genocide, right? Not too long ago. So many people died, right? Many people died in Cambodia. So they're missing the old people. So think if you lived in a country and all your grandparents and a lot of your older parents are dead. They were killed. So it's a country it's trying to hold on to what it is. And it's also, I think, in some ways, becoming something new, right? What I find about Khmer people is they're incredibly friendly people. Genuinely. I mean, and I remember walking around Phnom Penh, and I really had to use the bathroom. Like, I was going to piss my pants. And I went up to this lady who I thought it was a shop, but it was just her house. And I said, I got to go to the bathroom. Can I use your bathroom? And she came in and let me use the bathroom and everything. And I was so thankful and everything. And so I tried to give her a little bit of money. And, in Cambodia, they use multi-currency. So they use the Cambodian riel and they use the US dollar. So you can use US money in Cambodia. It's really weird. So I had $1 on me and I tried to give her $1. I was like, thank you so much. And she's like, no, don't give me it. Don't give me it. So they're really, tipping culture is not really a thing in Southeast Asia anyways. But what I'm trying to say is, I know a couple Westerners from America who have Khmer girlfriends, and it's pretty acceptable, right? I think that it's probably pretty similar to Thailand, and I think, you know, if you're a good person, I think it's more about who you are. It's not about your skin color or where you come from. It's about, are you respectful? You know, do you respect the Buddhist culture? Are you, you know, you're not gonna, you know, try to bully people and be loud and stuff like this. If you're like that, it's gonna be fine. I think that there's a lot of dating opportunities in Cambodia. I really do. Still watching? Well, thank you. I'm new, so I'm still trying to get the hang of it. Well, I hope I'm making sense. If not, ask questions. You know, I promise I'll be nice. I want to give you guys information, and maybe I'll inspire some people to travel overseas. So, thanks for watching, though, Gigi. I appreciate all you guys. All right, guys. I'm trying to think. I think that's about it. You guys have anything else? You guys? No, I have not dated in Cambodia. Nope, I have not done that. So I can't speak from personal experience, but I do know some people who have Cambodian girlfriends, and I think they're quite friendly. So yeah. What else, guys? Any other questions? Yeah, I'm trying to think of some other. Cambodia is just a crazy, crazy place. It really is. Like, it's it just seems like it just runs on like a totally different like consciousness than any other place that I've ever been to. And you know, Cambodia is still very poor too. I saw some pretty sad things in Cambodia, to be honest. I went to Cambodia. Well, I've been going to Cambodia for years. Like, close to 10 years ago, I was in Cambodia, and I saw some really sad things there, guys. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of things that were hard for me to see in Cambodia. I'm not going to talk about a lot of them because I just don't think they're appropriate to talk about on YouTube. But some things really hurt me, like hurt my heart to see, especially regarding children. You know, I think that I really care about kids a lot. You know, I really care about younger kids, and I saw a lot of kids in Cambodia that deserve a lot better, and you know, I think they're happy. So it just might be that I think most of them are happy. It might just be me that, like, you know, I just have this Western mindset, maybe, but I saw some things that probably weren't right, and you know, that's why I think, like, you know, if you go to Cambodia and you go there with the mindset of like you want to help people, and I think when you see things like that, you really stop giving a shit about money and becoming better than other people. Like, when you see things like that, it's just really like, what really matters in life, right? Like, what really matters? Like, does you know, like, succeeding in the stock market and the S&P 500 in America, and, you know, hitting, you know, the Dow Jones and winning big on the stocks, and, you know, does this stuff really matter? You know, so it really changed my perspective a lot. Empathy is very important. That's the core of humanity. Well said. Well said. Yeah. So, you know, yeah, guys. I don't know. So, you know, success can be defined in many different ways. You know, that's the other thing. Like, what success means to you can be different from, you know, what it means to somebody else. So, you know, just something I think about sometimes. All right, guys, I'm back. All right. In Thailand, we can do courtship, and if build good bond, then we can move in together as common law partners. They accept, but many countries don't like it. Okay. Gotcha. I didn't know that. Joker, I have a question. Where are you from? I'm interested. In Thailand, we can do courtship, and if build good bond, then we can move in together. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think it's the same in Cambodia. I think it's the same there. I mean, you know, Cambodia and Thailand are both like progressive, right? Like, they're not super liberal, or I mean, I'm sorry, they're not super conservative type places. Like, they might still be like in the provinces, but if you're in the capital city, like, you know, dating interracial relationships are pretty normal, especially in Thailand, right? Like, you see a lot of Thais dating outside of their own race, right? Not everywhere is like that in Asia, too. I mean, you know, I've been in Japan and Korea, and, you know, for a white guy, you know, I would do better dating in a place like Cambodia or Thailand, because in a place like Japan and Korea, you know, it's much more conservative. And, well, and also, a matter of fact, we can talk about China too. It would be much more difficult for me to break into the culture in China. It would be nearly impossible for the Chinese to, I'm not saying impossible is not a good way to put it, because nothing's impossible, right? But, I mean, it would be difficult to, you know, like, just like integrate into Chinese culture like that. You know, arranged marriage is very common in China. These older values are still really important to them. So yeah, it's East Asia is a different story. What else, guys? Canada, okay. Common law is socially acceptable here, but many countries say no moving in without marriage. Interesting. Nice. Cool. All right, we got a Canadian in the chat, so we got a lot of countries, so that's cool. Yeah, maybe you can tell us more, Joker. I don't really know a lot about the common laws and stuff like that, but yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else, guys. I think I've hit pretty much everything I wanted to talk to you guys about. So, if you guys have any last questions, put it in the chat now. I'll answer them, and if not, I'm gonna end the video. So, I'll give you guys a couple minutes here. I'll be back, guys. Yeah, have a good night, Gigi. Welcome to the channel. All right, guys, it looks like everyone's out of the chat, so we're going to call it a night. I appreciate you guys participating. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.